James Renouf and Mark Gannon here for another IEEPA Tariff Refunds video. And just starting off, we're not lawyers, but we're doing our best to get information out to everybody trying to go after these refunds. And this is a super important video. It's called Why the Government is Not Automatically Sending Every Importer a Check. If it's been deemed unconstitutional, these tariff refunds, and we know who's made these refunds, why aren't they giving the money back automatically? We're going to break down exactly why. First of all, the core problem is the massive scale of this. We have an estimated 166 billion plus, and some are saying it's much more than that, that is available to be received in terms of refunds. You have over 330,000 unique importers that made more than 53 million individual trade entries. This is a lot. And therefore, processing these manually would be an absolute nightmare for the government. The government, as we know, does not move quickly. And it's estimated that this would require over 4.4 million person hours to make this happen if they did
Wow.
this themselves. So this is a monumental task if they were to process it themselves. So it's not happening. So you need to go out and get it. And if people don't, that money's not going to get to them because there is a small window that is closing as we speak. So time is of the essence. So, Mark, with that being said, after the core program or after the core problem, what is the reason number one that they're not doing this?
Okay, thanks, James. G'day, everyone. So the reason number one, or one of the reasons, is that the government very simply lacks your banking details. So they've got no way to deposit the money back to you. It's really simple, isn't it? So the Customs and Border Protection Department has actually no automated way to drop cash back into individual bank accounts. So yeah, so that's it. I mean, refunds now are strictly digital. The government won't print checks. So the solution is needed that the importers must actively link their US bank information inside the ACE portal, which is I suppose it's the account that you pay your tariffs to. So that's it, James. Back to you.
Yeah, absolutely. And so there's not an automated way, as Mark stated. The second thing is the Cape portal. The Cape portal, you must take affirmative action to go after that. And so companies need to download, populate, and resubmit specific trade data files for validation, which we covered in another video. Important thing with the Cape portal, A, you're not putting information in there, but B, the Cape portal for phase one only covers unliquidated entries or those liquidated within the last 80 days. If you go after the Cape portal, you're only going after the 80 days when we have much more time in terms of tariffs that there could be refunds recovered from. And that is stepping into reason number three. And what is that, Mark?
Okay, so the reason number three is that the ongoing DOJ legal appeals. So they call it the finally liquidated dispute. The Department of Justice appealed the universal refund order on the 2nd of June 2026, targeting older entries. The government argues that it shouldn't pay finally liquidated entries past the 80-day windows without a separate lawsuit. So remember, James and I have always been saying that these older entries now are going to the stage where there has to be a lawsuit, and that's exactly what's happened. And that is why you need to have a lawyer and an attorney argue this. So the risk of waiting, non-litigant so importers of record that aren't litigating are at risk of losing their rights entirely if they don't file to the Court of International Trade, and that's a lawsuit before the deadlines expire. So that's a really big one, James. Back to you.
Absolutely. And that follows into or flows into the next thing I was going to say, which is reason number four, only importers of record qualify. So only the legal importer of record, they're the designated party that can claim the money. So regular consumers, distributors, retailers who absorbed higher prices, they cannot get refunds from the government. It has to be importers of record. So This restriction is triggering massive consumer class action lawsuits against major retailers like Amazon to force them to pass the refunds down. There's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. Bottom line, to Mark's point, when we start talking about ACE portal, we start talking about CAPE, when we start talking about litigation, there's a lot of nuances here that if you make a mistake, it is not forgiving. And you make a mistake and it's a very real possibility you don't get any refunds. So that's why we strongly recommend that you talk to and work with legal counsel, but not just any legal counsel, but legal counsel that has experience with this. Legal counsel is not just the lawyer down the street that can do this. And we work with a specific partner, a top 100 law firm that's been dealing with tariffs for the last 40 years. There is a link below. Click that link below. You fill out the short form. Takes about a minute to go through. It's free of charge to submit that form, and we will have representatives reach out to you to explain the process, see that you are qualified, that your company is qualified to do this, and then they have all the whole system down to get these funds in literal record time. So even if there's a litigation that needs to happen, you do not need to wait. You do not need to wait a year or 2 years for that to potentially be finalized. You can get your money ahead of time because lenders are willing to give that money out because they're so confident in being able to get this money. Bottom line is, again, click that link below, fill out the form, and we will have our representatives reach out to you. Thank you, Mark, and thank you for you watching this video. We have all kinds of other videos on our channel. Like and subscribe so that you see the latest and greatest videos that we have relating to the IEEPA tariff refunds.